Have you ever opened the door to your hotel room only to feel that something is already inside? A shadow that lingers when no one stands? A knock on the door at midnight from someone who should not exist? This is the story of room 709, a room that offered more than comfort. It offered room service from the afterlife. The building was a towering, glass-covered hotel in the center of the city, a place filled with laughter, neon lights, and tourists from around the world. But hidden in its polished hallways was a single door that no staff member wanted to approach. Room 709. Guests rarely stayed there, and when they did, they never stayed for long. The manager kept it quiet, chalking it up to bad plumbing or electrical problems. But whispers spread. They said the room was cursed. They said it remembered. Alex, a tired businessman, arrived late one evening. His connecting flight had been delayed, and every room was booked except one. The receptionist hesitated before handing him the key card. "You'll be in 709, she said softly, almost like a warning. But Alex was too exhausted to notice. The hallway to the 7th floor was quiet, almost unnaturally so. The carpet swallowed the sound of his footsteps, and the fluorescent lights above flickered, humming like they were struggling to stay alive. When he slid the card and pushed the door open, the smell of dust hit him, not the sharp scent of a newly cleaned room, but the stale odor of a space forgotten. Inside, everything looked normal. A neatly made bed, a desk, a lamp in the corner. But Alex couldn't shake the feeling that the air was heavier here, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. He laughed at his own nerves, tossed his suitcase on the bed, and tried to settle in. It was close to midnight when he heard the knock. 3 slow, deliberate taps on the door. Room service. But Alex hadn't ordered anything. Still, thinking it was a mistake, he opened the door. No one was there. The hallway was empty, silent. He closed the door slowly, his heart beating just a little faster. Back in bed, he convinced himself it was just another guest who had knocked on the wrong room. But then came another knock. This time it was softer, almost polite. He opened the door again. Empty. Only the endless hallway stretching in both directions. He leaned out, looking left and right. Nothing. But when he turned back inside, something was waiting for him. On the table by the bed was a silver tray. A tray that had not been there before. On it was a single covered dish. His hands trembled as he lifted the lid. Inside was a slice of cake. Fresh. Perfect. But resting on the plate, pressed into the frosting, was a fingerprint. A bloody fingerprint. Alex stumbled back, his breath quickening. He hadn't heard the door open. He hadn't seen anyone enter. Yet the food was here. Room service. The cake sat untouched as the hours dragged on. Shadows lengthened across the ceiling. Every time he closed his eyes, he heard faint sounds. Footsteps pacing across the carpet, a whisper too soft to make out. The clink of glass. At 3 a.m., the lamp flickered, then went out. The room plunged into darkness. In that silence, he heard the knock again, but this time it wasn't at the door. It came from inside the wardrobe. Alex froze. His chest tightened. Slowly, he turned his head toward the wardrobe. It stood tall in the corner, its wooden doors shut. The knocking grew louder. Steady, patient, with shaking hands, he grabbed the desk lamp and yanked it on. Light spilled across the room. The wardrobe door creaked open. Nothing inside, only empty hangers. But at the bottom, resting neatly on the floor, was another silver tray. This one carried a glass of water, and floating inside the glass was a tooth. Alex could no longer breathe evenly. He stumbled toward the door, determined to leave, but when he swiped the key card, the lock wouldn't click open. He pulled, he kicked, but the door stayed shut. Behind him, the television turned on by itself. The screen was nothing but static, yet in the hiss of white noise he heard it. Voices, dozens of them, overlapping, whispering the same phrase over and over. Eat, drink, stay. The temperature dropped. His breath turned visible. He backed into the corner, clutching the lamp like a weapon when the bathroom light flickered on. Slowly, the door creaked open, and steam rolled out, though the shower wasn't running. From the mist emerged a figure, tall, Thin, draped in a hotel uniform so old its colors had faded. The face was wrong. The eyes were hollow sockets, the mouth stretched too wide. In its skeletal hand, it carried another tray. On this tray was not food, not water, but a key. A single brass key labeled Exit. The figure set it gently on the desk, its hollow eyes fixed on Alex, then stepped backward into the mist. The bathroom door slammed shut. Alex didn't wait. He snatched the key, jammed it into the room's door, and twisted. This time, it opened. He bolted down the hallway, never once looking back, until he burst into the lobby. The receptionist glanced up, startled. He tried to explain, but the words fell apart on his tongue. She only nodded slowly, her expression unreadable. "Room 709 doesn't like new guests," she whispered. "It likes to keep them." Alex never spoke of that night again. He checked out immediately, leaving his suitcase and belongings behind. But the hotel still stands. Guests still arrive. And every so often, when no other rooms are left, someone is given the key to 709. They say if you hear the knock, do not open the door, because once you accept the service, you belong to the room. So, the next time you check into a hotel and hear that soft knock after midnight, ask yourself one question. Is it really room service, or is it something waiting to serve you forever?